again everyone and welcome back to another lesson in our subject PE Health, and once again this is your one and only PE Sensei. As you guys know, this is our first lesson for the second grading period in this semester, and our topic for this lesson is anaerobic abdominal exercises. So if you want to have a six-pack abs or a ripped abs, these are the exercises that may help you achieve it. So I hope that excites you, because right now we are gonna learn different examples of anaerobic abdominal exercises. Let's go! For our first example of abdominal exercises, we are gonna learn 3 variations of sit-ups. And our first variation is called the crunches. So to do a crunches, first you must put your hands on your chest, nape, or temple. Number 2, lay on your back, then raise or lift your upper torso. Number 3, repeat the cycle of the first 2 instructions until you've reached the suggested repetition. Our next variation is called the normal sit-ups. So to do this exercise, number 1, once again, put your hands on your chest, nape, or temple. Number 2, lay on your back, this time lift or raise your whole torso. And number 3, repeat the cycle of the first 2 instructions until you've reached the suggested repetition. And for our third and last variation, we have the extended leg sit-ups. To do this exercise, number 1, once again, put your hands on your chest, nape, or temple. Number 2, lay on your back and fully extend your legs, then lift or raise your whole torso. Number 3, once again, repeat the cycle of the first 2 instructions until you reach the suggested repetition. Now for the do's and don'ts. Since all of these are a variation of the same exercise, which is the sit-ups, they all have the same do's and don'ts. First, let's talk about the do's. Number 1, keep your hands on your chest, nape, or temple at all times. Number 2 is keep your feet or legs on the floor at all times. Number 3, contract your abdominal muscles throughout the exercise. And number 4 is control your breathing. Inhale when you go down, exhale when you go up. Now for the don'ts. These are the things that you should not do while doing the exercise. Number 1, do not grab your legs when you lift or raise your torso. Number 2, do not lift your legs when you raise or lift your torso. And it should look like this. Number 3, do not lift or raise your hips while doing the exercise. And it should look like this. And number 4 is do not lay down too long. Lastly, number 5, do not let your shoulders touch the floor. To keep all the pressure and stress on your abdominal muscles, you should keep your shoulders elevated throughout the exercise. Doing all of this will make the workout easier but ineffective because your abdominal muscles won't have the right amount of pressure or stress, making your abdominal muscles develop slower. Our next example of exercise is called the leg raises. So to do this exercise, number 1, lay on your back and fully extend your legs. Number 2, raise both of your legs while keeping your arms or hands on the side of your body. Number 3, repeat the cycle of the first 2 instructions until you reach the suggested repetition. Now for the do's and don'ts of leg raises. Once again, let's start with the do's. Number 1, keep your legs straight at all times. Number 2, your body or back should be straight at all times. Number 3, keep your arms on the side at all times. Number 4, contract your abdominal muscles throughout the exercise. Number 5, once again, control your breathing. Inhale when your legs go down and exhale when your legs go up. Now for the don'ts. Number 1, do not bend your knees. Number 2, do not grab your legs when your legs go up. Number 3, do not put your hands under your butt. Lastly, number 4, do not let your feet or legs touch the ground while doing the exercise. To focus all of the stress and pressure on your abdominal muscles, you should keep your feet elevated at all times throughout the exercise. And once again, doing all of this will make the workout ineffective because your abdominal muscles won't have the right amount of stress and pressure that it should have. And for our last example of abdominal exercises, we will have 2 variations of plank exercise. So first, let's talk about the normal plank. So to do a normal plank, you should follow these instructions. Number 1, lay down on a prone position. Number 2, lift your body by using both of your elbows and feet as a lever. Number 3, hold that position until you've reached the suggested time limit. Our next variation of planks is called the side plank. So to do this exercise, number 1, lay down on a sideward position. Number 2, lift your body by using a single elbow and a foot as a lever. And number 3, hold that position until you've reached the suggested time limit and do the same pattern on the other side. Now for the do's and don'ts. Once again, these exercises are a variation of the same exercise, which is the plank. Therefore, they have the same do's and don'ts. Now let's talk about the do's. Number 1, keep your whole body straight at all times. Number 2, make sure that the pressure or stress should be on your abdominal muscles. And number 3, keep your head straight or in a normal position throughout the exercise. Now for the don'ts. Number 1, do not arch your back. Number 2 is do not stick out or lift your butt. So to do it properly, you should maintain the proper execution or the proper level of your body, which is a straight line. For the side plank, do not tilt your hips sideways. Remember to always maintain a straight line on your body in order to do the proper execution. And number 3 is do not look down. Once again, the act of looking down in any exercise will disrupt your breathing pattern, making your body oxygen deprived, and it will tire you quicker than usual. Now let's try to do it all together, and this is how your video submission should look like. You will create a video with a maximum time of 3 minutes doing the following exercises. First is 10 crunches. Next is 10 normal push-up. Next is 10 extended leg sit-ups. Next is 10 leg raises. Next is 20 seconds normal plank. And lastly, 20 seconds side plank on both sides. And those are the different examples of anaerobic abdominal exercises. Keep in mind all of the do's and don'ts, and don't forget to do a warm-up drill before engaging in these exercises and a cool-down drill after. This is to avoid having body pain or injuries while doing these exercises. And I'll be looking forward for your video submissions. I hope you guys enjoy our lesson for this week. Now, let's wrap up everything with our closing segment called Health Trends. Hello again guys, and welcome back to Health Trends. And for today's Health Trends, we are gonna talk about eggs. So, eggs is one of the healthiest food that you can find in the market. It is so healthy that it is even categorized as a super food because it contains almost a little bit of every vitamin and minerals that your body needs. It contains vitamin B, vitamin A, choline, phosphorus, iron, and many more, and it is one very good source of protein. The only imperfect characteristic of eggs is that it doesn't contain vitamin C. And it also has a lot of cholesterol. That is why you should only consume 6 to 12 eggs per week. So those are the different nutrition and health benefits of the egg. Now let's talk about some fun facts about the egg. The egg has 3 parts: the eggshell, the egg whites, and the egg yolk. First, let's talk about the egg whites or the albumin. The albumin or the egg whites is the part of the egg that has a lot of protein and it has no fats. That is why it is the best food for bodybuilders. Now let's talk about the egg yolk. The word yolk literally translates to yellow, and this is the part when all of the other vitamins and minerals can be found. But then again, it also contains a lot of cholesterol. The last one is the eggshell. The eggshell is mainly composed of calcium and phosphorus. And did you know that the eggshell or eggshells are actually edible? But it doesn't mean that it is tasty or delicious. So those are the different parts of an egg. Now let's talk about which is better, eating raw eggs or cooked eggs. I believe you've already saw a lot of people eating raw eggs from TV movies, from online videos, and even in person. And did you ever wonder why they do that? Why are they eating raw eggs? The reason is that they believe that eating an egg raw is an effective way to get as much nutrients or protein as possible from the egg. On the other hand, it is also true that when we cook eggs or any kind of food, some of the nutrients will be stripped off during the cooking process. But here's the catch. The truth is, you can get more nutrients when you eat an egg cooked than when you eat it raw. The reason is that studies show that raw eggs is harder to digest compared to cooked eggs. Therefore, if it is harder to digest, your body won't be able to absorb as much nutrients as possible compared to cooked eggs, which is easier to digest. To sum it up, in reality, a raw egg contains a lot of nutrients compared to a cooked egg, but you will be able to absorb more nutrients in a cooked egg because it is easier to digest. In addition, raw foods can contain some germs and bacteria that can cause food poisoning. And we can only sanitize our food from these germs and bacteria during the cooking process. So if you're used to eating raw eggs or any kind of raw foods, especially meat, I suggest you to stop doing that because once again, eating raw foods can be dangerous to your health. It can cause food poisoning. On the other hand, eating cooked foods is not just cleaner, it is also healthier because they are easier to digest. And that is it for this week's Health Trends. I hope you guys like it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll see you once again on the next one. Ciao.